Herzlich willkommen, Sianamgela, and welcome to the Bundesliga Connection with Chris Harrington on the SL Podcast in partnership with DW Berlin.
It's time for the latest from Germany's domestic football league, the Bundesliga, and more. For that, we are joined by Chris Harrington from our partner station Deutsche Welle in Berlin, Germany. Chris, Bayern and Union Berlin look to be over at the break. Did Bayern make a statement with their easy victory?
I think definitely they did make a statement to the rest of the league. When you come close, we're going to beat you up badly and remind where you are in this pecking order. You know, Bayern Munich, they called a secret meeting ahead of this Sunday kickoff, and Julian Nagelsmann pretty much said it was a heart-to-heart to tell the players what it really means to play for Bayern Munich. They started 2023 not, with the best form, and this head-to-head, the teams came in level. And even Union Berlin acknowledged, their head coach, Urs Fischer, acknowledged that Bayern are angry, and when they are the most dangerous. And we saw that in the first half. Bayern put up 3 easy goals. I mean, it looked like a cakewalk after that. Bayern's front mid did the damage. I like Jamal Musiala's goal. He's celebrating a birthday recently, so his goal obviously spoke volumes. Eric Choupo-Moting and Kingsley Coman, and even Thomas Müller providing assists look like to be of past form as well. The heart-to-heart must have meant a lot because Union Berlin came in with an unbeaten run. They were looking to extend that run to 7 matches, but they were unable to do that. And it goes to show how Bayern can just flip it on like a switch. They did get a boost in the pitch. In the 65th minute, Sadio Mane did check in the match. There were rumors he had been training all week. He was expected to check in the match at one point, and he was pretty much on cruise control. He completed a few passes, but it's good to see him back in the lineup healthy. And Bayern, back to being Bayern. Unfortunate that Union Berlin were just, unimpressive, at best. I would say, a different adjective to describe their performance, especially considering the form of run they had going into this encounter in Munich. But it was in Munich. And, the fans were shouting at one point, there's only one champion, FC Bayern. There's only one champion, FC Bayern. Just to let them know that Bayern meant business to their closest competitor, and the result spoke for itself.
Dortmund's win at the weekend had them in the number 1 spot for a short while. Do you see Dortmund keeping the pressure on Bayern?
Yeah, it's always been Dortmund and Bayern. Anyone following the Bundesliga is aware of that. It's always been a 2-horse race. Recently, we see RB Leipzig, peaking in there. Then we see Union Berlin in their form in this particular season. But Dortmund, coming off a win, I expected them to defeat Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim had the worst home record in the Bundesliga, and they only got 1 goal. Julian Brandt netted a nice free kick. It actually bounced in the goal, an amazing goal on his part. And the result spoke for itself. They got the 1 point, and then they did have the lead. Maybe if Union Berlin brought a bit more pressure in Munich and held Bayern, then Dortmund would still be number 1. But as far as Dortmund keeping the pressure on Bayern, when you look at Dortmund statistically, they have the most wins in the Bundesliga. They have more wins than Bayern Munich. Despite right now they're level with Bayern Munich on points, but those losses do disturb me a bit in terms of keeping the pressure. We've seen Dortmund lose leading late in the match and then conceding goals, ending in a loss. They're talented for sure. They have a big important match coming up. Bayern host Dortmund in April. There are 3 matches in between. We've seen a hot Dortmund. We've seen a cold Dortmund. It really does depend on, what kind of boost. Sebastian Haller starting in the lineup as well. Moukoko is out injured. When he's back in the lineup, what does he add? Obviously, their midfield is locked down with Jude Bellingham. He's amazing, and I think he will depart soon. But Dortmund, they're more than capable of doing that. They just have to bring it in, match in and match out, one day at a time. That's how we have to look at it. And right now, Dortmund's in a really good position.
Chris, looking ahead to the next match day, what stands out for you?
Well, Dortmund, speaking of Dortmund, right now they're number 2 in the standings because of goal difference. They host number 4, RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig, they got a bump in the standings after defeating Frankfurt 2-1 this past match day. Dortmund are be looking for payback. They got beat up badly last time they met. Marco Rose, now coaching at RB Leipzig, used to coach at Dortmund, so I'm expecting an emotional affair, and those are always fun to watch.
And just like always, Chris, before we let you go, what else has hit your radar?
Yeah, well, I spoke about this secret meeting that Bayern Munich held, speaking to their players what it meant to play for Bayern Munich. Well, an appearance at that meeting surprised me. It was Manuel Neuer, their goalkeeper, who had broken his leg after the World Cup. He was walking, no crutches needed. So, time will tell how soon he'll be back on the pitch and trying to be active. But if he's walking around, I guess that's a good sign. And Jan Sommer, his replacement, keeping a clean sheet to keep Bayern at the top of the standings is good for him too. So I'm sure the competition will be fierce once Manuel Neuer is back healthy. But of course, it was an emotional boost for the club to see their captain, walking around without any assistance.
Thanks very much for the Bundesliga update, Mr. Chris Harrington from our partner station Deutsche Welle in Berlin, Germany. Have a fantastic day further.
Dankeschön und auf Wiedersehen.
The Bundesliga Connection is a team effort driven by the following incredible individuals. The show is hosted by Aidan Hewitt and Chris Harrington. It is produced by Chris Harrington. It is edited by Aidan Hewitt and Uli Presch, and graphics are provided by David Scullard.